An I-Team investigation is getting results. Our 5-part series uncovered allegations of sex abuse in Buffalo and how the system failed local children. As Chief Investigator Charlie Speck tells us, now another alleged victim is coming forward.
All these people all knew about it. The whole city knew. Letters were written, comments were made, I mean everything, but nobody did anything.
In November, Linda Hastreiter helped the 7 Eyewitness News I-Team reveal allegations that Lovejoy youth leader Paul Gaeta abused children in the 1980s.
And we got to talking, and he just started crying, uncontrollably crying. That type of cry where it takes 10 minutes to understand one word coming out of his mouth.
Ron Noacel says his brother Jeremy was a victim of the abuse. But like other alleged victims, Jeremy committed suicide years ago. But since our investigation, another man has now come forward, alleging in a lawsuit filed this week in state Supreme Court that he was abused by Gaeta in the 1980s when he was just 10 years old.
Our plaintiff in particular has come forward, I think, in part because he's realizing that he has a place to be heard.
Attorney William Gherkin's client is a Buffalo man now in his 40s. He filed the lawsuit under a pseudonym.
This particular plaintiff had a lot of issues with PTSD and trauma.
The man came into contact with Gaeta through the not-for-profit Abley, which Gaeta ran in the 1980s with the support of former Common Councilman Norm Backus.
It put a lot of children at risk, and a lot of people were harmed by that.
It's one reason the man is suing not only Gaeta, who lives in Arizona, but also the city of Buffalo. The suit references Gaeta's 1978 arrest in Delaware Park on felony sex crime charges involving an 11-year-old boy. The charges were dismissed and the record was sealed. Gaeta went on to work with children in multiple posts. He later became a federal agent before his past resurfaced.
There's a system in place to prevent people from having access to children who shouldn't have access to children. And in this case, not only did he have access to children, but he was in a position of power and authority over these kids.
Gherkin cited the work of Lovejoy activist Linda Hastreiter, who encouraged the I-Team to start an investigation of how the system failed in this case.
She was heavily involved in her neighborhood community and has been advocating for this since 1989. Now people are starting to listen, and people are starting to realize, yeah, Paul Gaeta molested children, and he was abusive to children.
For the I-Team, Charlie Speck, 7 Eyewitness News.
Through his son, Gaeta did not respond to messages seeking comment on this lawsuit.